Hey Board Game Maniacs, Maniac Rob here to bring you another gameplay video. In this video, we're going to play the game Project Z. Now this Project Z, it's a zombie miniature game. It's not a board game, it's a miniature game, but here at Board Game Maniacs, we like to play all different types of games. So this Project Z by Warlord Games, it is based into a zombie apocalypse game. It's a 1 to 3 player skirmish game where you're not buddy with each other, you're fighting against each other, and mechanics in this game is nothing better than zombies themselves. Now I had this game for a very long time. I probably got it about a year ago maybe, and I got the zombie expansion for it, so it took me a long time to paint because I have quite a bit of zombies, which you will see in the video. And also I got all the factions probably 2 days ago. I just finished painting up the last faction, which was the female survivors. I don't have a showcase on the female survivors yet, but if you're interested in to see what types of factions they are for the game, aside from the female survivors, you can, in our YouTube channel, you can see the Project Z. I think it's actually in a playlist, and it has like showcases of all the different types. So just in case anybody don't know, you have the female survivors, you have the male survivors, you have the Z Ops or Spec Ops, Special Ops, Black Ops team, whatever one you want to call them. They're the army with guns and bazookas and everything. And you also have the biker team. Now the biker team is a gang team or whatever, and some of them have bikes, some of them don't, but they're really cool too as well. Now I played this game kind of 1 or 2 times. When I say kind of, is every time I started to try to play the game to learn it, something came up and I had to stop playing it for some reason or another. But I want to play this game, and the only way I'm going to see through and play this game completely is by doing it for you guys, the viewers, on video. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, probably about 3 weeks ago, in one of my Twitter feeds on Board Game Maniacs, what I did say is I put a vote up to you, the viewers, to pick a game, and that would be the next one of the next gameplay videos that you will see on our channel. And the 2 games were the D&D adventure board game system. It's like 4 or 5 different games. They have a solo mission there for each of them, and the other one was Project Z. And as you can tell, the winner, unanimously winner, I can't even say that word, but the winner of the 2 game systems was Project Z. So this is what we're going to play today. And what I'm playing, it's going to be the solo mission. I can't remember exactly what the specific name is. I'm going to bring the book out. I'm going to read it off camera. And when we start recording the battle report, I'll go over all the information. We'll go over what characters I personally picked out for this to fight the undead hordes of zombies. So it's going to be a wild ride. I'm excited for this. I got the game board all set up. I spent probably the last week and a half painting up the barricades and painting up some cards and everything else, just to get everything ready and looking, you know, tabletop quality at least, so that you guys can watch this and enjoy it. Because I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. A disclaimer here though is there are probably going to be rules mistakes, because I really don't know how to play this game. I only tried to play it twice, and both times I get interrupted for one reason or another. So prepare for some rules mistakes. I'm going to try to catch it ones, and if I don't catch it, please comment down below into the comment section if you played this game and what we played wrong and what is the correct way. Now the only thing I ask is, because the rule book is so small, I think the rule book is like 14 pages long. So when you're referring to a specific rule, tell me what the page number is so I'll be able to look it up. And I'm not saying I don't believe it, but just so I can look it up so that I can understand what the comment said that you guys commented on, and I can go in the book and I can reflect it and refer to it, which is very good, so it makes me understand more. I want to do so much more gameplay of this, because the 2 little times that I did play and it was like, you know, something come up and I couldn't finish the game, I had a lot of fun playing it. You know, like, who wouldn't have fun going around and shooting zombies? So it's so much fun. And the table that's set up for this, just sitting here and watching it, it's just me when I'm setting it up. I'm enjoying it so much because it's bringing me into that world of the zombie apocalypse or Project Z. Wow. So before we go on any further, I'm starting to ramble here, but this is a 1 to 3 player, like I said, and it's roughly on the box. It says anywhere between 30 and 60 minutes of gameplay, which ain't a long time to play. So this video is probably going to go a little bit longer because, again, I'm learning as we play. So if I have a question about something, I will pause the game, pause the video, look it up in the book, see if I can find the answer, and then I'll resume the gameplay too as well. I'm going to try to catch any rules mistakes, but can't promise anything. Also too as well is this rating on this game is 14 plus, so it's very important to know. I like all my unboxing videos and everything that I do, I like to say what the rating is so that you, the viewers, will know, hey, I'm going to get this for so-and-so, or I'm going to buy it for me, just so it's age appropriate. So without further ado, I'm going to just take the camera, I'm going to set it up, and we're going to record it and see what happens in this game of Project Z. There you have the game set up for the solo scenario. Don't this board look really cool? I love the look of this board. Very nice for sure. I'm excited that we're going to play this game together onto it. So the solo mission we're playing, it's called Nowhere to Run. Zombies, that's what it's all about. Gangers, rivals, survivor communities, they're there too. But the real threat is the zombies. And that's just a little blurb that's out of the scenario for the solo mission. So most games in Project Z that I'm noticing from reading the rule book and so forth is played on either a 3x3 or a 3x4 table. You know, the solo mission board we are playing on is a 3x3. So the way I measured it is from here to there is 3 feet. And from the edge of the table to the fence and that house is 3 feet. So this is a 3x3 board, what it does recommend. Now, the objective of this scenario is that the board is broken up by put down zombie spawn points, as you see here. There's 6 of them. Now, how did I get to the number of 6? How I did that is by going by the chart into the book here, if you can see. Depending on the amount of character cards used is determined how many zombie entry points is used. So, character cards, I'm using 4 characters, which I will go over, and we have 6 Z entry points. Escalation 4, 5, and 6. So we'll go over what the escalation means and everything shortly. But again, these are zombie entry points, or Z points. So, the way I got it set up is right here, in this area right here. This is the deployment area for my guys. And the objective of this game is very, very simple. And not to pick up any loot counters, loot crates, or anything to try to kill any other team, because there's no other team on this. It's a solo mission. So get from here and all the way to the compound on the other side where safety is. And when you get there, you are going to, actually I'll just read specifically what it says here about winning the game, which is right here. That gets in focus here. Okay. This scenario is played over 6 turns. The player's team receives 2 victory points for every character that stands fully operative in the safe zone by the end of turn 6. Any character slain by that point count as a loss and deduct -3 victory points for each of the total score. If the final result is a positive, the player wins. So pretty much what that means is after we battle our way along here to get to our compound over here, if whoever's still standing in there, we get victory points for. So we get 2 victory points per person from my team that's in there. For every team member that is slain trying to get over there, we have to subtract -3 victory points. So I'm playing with a team of 4, so therefore 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to have a total of 8 victory points. So to win this, I need to at least have more victory points than of the living than what is the victory points of the dead. So if I'm still in the positive, not the negative, I win the game, which is going to be awesome. If not, then Project Z has just kicked my ass and the zombies have just turned me into zombie food. Oh, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I cannot wait to play this game. Going over what characters I've chosen. Again, I chose 4 characters. We have this one, which is the last family member. Now, he's an archetype, so he's a special character. So what that means is most of these characters have 1 wound or 1 hit point. He's an archetype, so he has 1 wound, so he can take 1 wound before he's going to die. And I also have grit points. Now these grit points I will explain during the game of how it's used, but pretty much what it is, you can sell a grit point to stand a prone actor up, or a prone survivor, I should say, not actor. A prone survivor up. You can spend a grit point to reload. You can spend a grit point for a lot of things. Now, this character here, the last family, let's just call him Hal. I'll try to remember that that's his name. If not, anyhow, the last family member, he got 3 grit points in the pool. And you can see the stats here. So he can move up to 6 inches. He has a defensive 2. He has a +1 to his melee attack, but he don't get any bonus to his shooting for his gun. And he's equipped there with an AK-47. So hopefully that can focus in there. Yeah, that's good enough. So he's equipped with an AK-47, which is good. And the next one on my team is the cop. Again, you get 2 grit points, movement is 6, 2 defense, +1 to his melee, and you get a +1 to his range attack, which is good. And look what he has there. He has a bazooka. Or, I don't know if you want to call it a rocket launcher or what have you. It's more like a grenade launcher. That's what it is. I was lost for words there. But that's him, the cop. Might call him Bob. I don't know yet. I might just call him the cop. Who knows? And then the next one on our team is a survivalist. He has 1 wound to as well. He's got 2 grit tokens. He has speed of 6, 2 defense, 1+ to his melee and 1+ to his range. And he has a crossbow, which is awesome. I never use this guy in my half of 2 games that I played. Really bad. And also we have Chainsaw Mac. Right here. Chainsaw Mac. He's got a chainsaw, and you can see right there it says Chainsaw Mac. 2 grit. He's got 6 speed. He's got 2 defense. He's got no bonus to his melee. And he's got no bonus to a range. Now, all of these characters that you see here, these are archetype. Architect or archetype, I don't know. I have to look in the book again. I'm still learning the rules as we go along. But they're special characters. That's all I'm going to say. And so the 4 characters. Now, all of these grit tokens here that you see, they go into a pool. So once this guy can use more than 3 if he wants, if they have them in the pool. It's not meant for each specific character. To get from here over to our compound is a total of 6 turns. If we do not make it there on our 6th turn, or after our 6th turn, the game is over and we lose, the zombies win. And we're just left out of the compound, and the zombies will eventually catch us and eat us. So one quick note here, you can see I have zombies on each of the 6 entry points here. See that there, there's one there, and there's one there. So in the rules for zombie deployment, it does state, zombies appear in turn 1 from all zombie entry points on the board, which I have set up. From turn 1, place 1 zombie for every character card in play in contact with all zombie entry points. So pretty much what that means is simply that if I end my turn that is close to a zombie entry point, when it comes time to spawn more zombies, I'd put another zombie onto this entry point because I'm in contact with it, because he is in play. So that's how that works for the zombies. So on top of that, we also have a special thing that's for every scenario, which is called Escalation. I can't talk, holy crap. So in Escalation, the number of zombies respawn each turn escalates at the beginning of the upkeep phase in turn 3. So what that means is that besides being in contact or in close proximity of a zombie spawn point, for the upkeep phase of turn 3, we have to place a zombie on every spawn point from turn 3, 4, 5, and 6. So therefore, when we get to turn 3 and we're doing the upkeep phase, there's going to be just new zombies coming on constantly. So we have to try to beeline it as fast as possible to get down to the compound, because if not, we're going to be zombie food. I just read too as well, this was in red, I never noticed this, so this is going to be a very, very interesting game. So under the escalation part for this solo scenario for Nowhere to Run, it says, flip all zombie entry points so they are shown their escalation side. So pretty much what the escalation side is, so right now this is just a normal one, so once we get to turn 3, the upkeep phase and so forth, we flip this over, which means it's escalated. But the ones that we do flip over for the escalation is based onto from the chart. So once we flip that over from turn 3 for the upkeep phase, we don't put one zombie on each Z spawn point. I had that all wrong. I'll just read specifically what it says. Flip all zombie entry points so they show their escalation side. From this point on, place 5, not 1, 5 zombies on the indicated zombie entry points as per number of character cards. So, this is our character card. So we have 4 character cards. So, the escalation points are 4, 5, and 6. And if you look down at the chart here, you can see where the 4, 5, and 6 are. So technically, I should turn it this way because this is the way I set up the board. So from turn 3, escalation point 6 gets 5 zombies onto it. And number 5, which is this guy right here, this lady, but this point gets 5 zombies. And number 4, which is right here, which is smack dab in the middle, lovely, gets 5 extra zombies during the upkeep phase of turn 3. That's a lot of zombies that are going to be coming out. This is horrible. Well, it's going to be really cool. I think it's cool. If I get eaten by zombies, hey, oh, I turned into a zombie. What can I say? When I say upkeep phase, the way this game works is, now this here is not just the solo mission, this is in general like the rules of how this game works, is that the turn is divided into 4 phases, and the 4 phases are initiative phase. Now initiative phase is more for when you're playing 2 or 3 players. So you roll off to see who gets to go first. But we're not going to do that because it's a solo mission, so we kind of just skip the initiative phase. And then the second phase is the action phase. Now the action phase consists of movement subphase, shooting subphase, and engage and melee subphase. I'm not going to go into great detail on how you do this because you're going to see it happen. And I'm going to also be referring to the book a lot. The next phase is the upkeep phase. For the upkeep phase, it's recover shocked miniatures, roll to reload weapons, replenish combat cards. And then the number 4th phase is the spawn zombies. So that is it for the type of phases or during one turn. Whenever a character shoots a ranged weapon, whether it be an AK-47, grenade launcher, now I don't know if the crossbow has a reload onto it. I'll have to look at that. And even for the chainsaw has a reload onto it. It's the only melee weapon that does have a reload. So every time you do that, just say, he shot. the cop shot. So you take one of these tokens and you place it there, which is a reload token. So on the upkeep phase, what we do is we take the die and we're going to roll it. Now, I wouldn't be able to reload because this here on the die, that is not a reload. So just go over what each of the icons mean on the die, or logos, whatever you want to call it. This is a shock. This is a flesh wound. So on the upkeep phase for reloading your weapon, if you roll one of these, you can reload your weapon. If you roll one of those, you cannot reload your weapon. And the last one is this lightning one right here. Now, what this lightning one is slain. So which means that you kill a miniature. You don't shock the miniature, zombie or other player, you actually kill it. So that is all the three different types of icons in the dice. And you notice here, this here, some have the reload, the double reload onto a weapon. So like a machine gun has a double reload. So like a shotgun on that is a single reload. But you can also have the double one, which is this one that you'd flip over. So then you'd roll 2 dice on the upkeep phase. If you only rolled 1 success, so just say we rolled and got that, so then you would flip this over to 1. Still, you're not able to shoot on the next turn, which is really sucks. So you just have to pay attention to that too as well for the upkeep phase. If we were playing just a 2-player game or 3-player game, the way that it would work is the acting player that did the initiative roll and won the roll off, they could choose either for the other player to go or they can go. And then it's one player moves, the other player moves, then the zombies move. And then after that, then it is the acting player will do their shooting, then the opposing player will do their shooting. If any of them can, the zombies just groan because they don't use guns. It's not like the George Romero movie, which was a great movie, Land of the Dead I think it was called, but anyhow, it's not like that. So after that, then you're going to have the melee phase, and then the other person will have the melee phase, and then the zombies will be able to attack if they're close enough and try to chow down on you. So again, that's kind of like the basic summation of the rules. I probably missed some rules, but we will go over it as we play the game. One other thing I would like to mention, what's really cool about this, you have a weapon summary chart. So with this weapon summary chart, for instance, like the hand pistol, it has a range of 6 and 2 dice. Short range also counts as a hand weapon. So a hand weapon, which means if you're in melee, you could use it and crack somebody on the skull with it if you want. So again, they all break down. So it tells you 2 dice. Now what's really cool about these weapons is if it don't say short range onto it, what you can do is you can double the distance it shoots, but you have to take away one of your die. So let's pick one that don't say short range. See, that says short range. So rifle. Don't have short range here. So with the rifle, it's 12-inch range and you get 2 dice. But if I wanted to go 24, I'll only roll 1 die. So again, that's how that part of the weapons work. And then you also have your melee weapons here too as well. And if you have a reload, so the Uzi, let's look at the Uzi here for a second. So 6 die for regular range or 12. 6 inches I should say, or 12. Or 6 inches for regular, 3, because you have to cut it down by half, I think it is. I have to look at that, but I'm almost certain that you have to cut it down by 2, or cut it down by half, not just take up 1 die. So for the Uzi then, oh, I lost track here. So Uzi, range is 6 or 12, 3 or 1, and short range, burst, and reload. So short range, actually short range, you can't go past what the range is here. Burst, now there's other things about what burst means and everything. I'm going to read that as we play if we're going to use an Uzi, but I don't think any of my characters have an Uzi. And you have a reload. This is what I was trying to get at. So with the reload is that every time you shoot, just say that he had a reload one, it actually has 2 to reload, not 1. Each character also has special abilities. So for this last family member, I can't remember what I was going to call him. But anyhow, he has run, he has tough, and he has 1 wound, and he has range too as well. So if you flip this over, it tells you everything on the back. So run, move up to 4 inches instead of shooting. So if you run, you can move an extra distance instead of, just walking, but you can't shoot. Tough, can never be shocked by shooting, which is good. Wounds, 1 wound, and then I already explained about that. And range, may reroll any result of lightning when resolving a melee attack. So that's for this guy, really cool. So I'm not going to go over all their special abilities in detail, but again, the cop here, because of the glare, if you can see that. Run, wound, bodyguard, clips and bullets. Run, wound, relentless, my stuff, clips and bullets. Run, range, wounds, burst for the chainsaw. Also, here is the zombie card. So for the zombie card, the zombie hunters. Don't pay attention to the 5. This is if you're playing a different type of game, but I just got this as a reference. So zombies' movement is 4 inches. Their defense is 1 die. Their attack in melee is 3. Oh, it's out of focus there again. 3. Let's see if I can get it back in focus. Ooh, gotta put glasses on and watch this video. And they don't have any bonus for not 3 dies, but they have a bonus, and I'll explain that if we come across that. And also the gun don't have any special ability. And if you flip it on the back here, you can see too as well what each one of these do. But I'm not going to go over that. Sorry if the camera's out of focus. Another thing you get, I know this is a lot to take in before we even start playing the game. I'm doing this for both your benefit and mine, believe me. So you also get a range ruler, 6-inch range ruler. You can also use a measuring tape too as well, which I'm probably going to be using a lot of. I don't think I missed anything else which I have to go over specifically right now to start the game. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to move my character cards. Oh, I do have to go over one more thing. Jeez, I keep forgetting this. You have survival cards. Now, these survival cards, where did I grab them here? So the survival cards, what that means specifically is that during each game, each player gets 5 survival cards, and you can pick them. Some are specifically geared for what faction you're playing, and others are generic. So like additional ammo, block the entry, run idiot, and so forth. I picked these specifically according what I think would benefit me the most for this solo mission. Now, on top of that, you also have these ones, which are called combat cards. So these are survival cards because they survival, and these are combat. So what your combat cards do, you are going to get 5 random cards that you can use during your turn, or you can save. But every time you do a new turn, you get to replenish up to 5 cards if you use them or not. If you choose not to replenish your cards, you can gain a grit token back into your pool. Now again, grit tokens are very rare in this game of Project Z, so if you don't want to use any of these, then you can get another grit token. So just to give you an idea, here's one here. This is a shock, and you can see here, this is play at any time when you see the 2 hand icons. Other than that, you can only play them at certain times. But because there's only 1 player against the zombies in the solo mission, then, the cards are probably going to be played a little differently. I was going to choose not to play the game with any of the cards at first, but you know what? This is kind of like a solo mission gameplay / tutorial for you and I to go through together. So why not try to incorporate everything that was meant for this game? We want in brains! I don't want anyone to find any brains with me. No way. Because I'm stupid. No. One other thing I'd like to note is this game, like I said, was out for a while already. at least over a year anyhow. But the rules have changed slightly. Now, I went on the Warlord Games website into the Project Z selection, and I printed off the newer rules and I compared them to the rules manual. They are maybe a little bit of change, just not a lot. You can see the print off that I have here, and then you see the rules manual too as well. So the difference is for this specifically, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because on Facebook they actually have Warlord Project Z fan page. I don't know if exactly that's what it's called, but if you just do a search for Project Z on Facebook, you will find it. Now, it's not by Warlord Games. Well, it is and it isn't, I guess, but the creator of this game is on there. And I've been following some threads that he's been posting everything on there, and he is actually working as we speak onto an updated rule set. So it's going to be version 3 that's going to have the rules are going to be changing. So the game that you're going to watch now has version 2 rules, not version 1, version 2. So when version 3 rules are finished, then he releases the PDF for everybody who loves this game, which are a lot of people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to play another solo mission, which I'm going to look forward to, or maybe we'll play like a multi-game player when new rules come out. Who knows? Comment down below into the comment section. Let me know what you would like to see when it comes out. Would you like to see just another solo gameplay, or would you like to see like a multiplayer game? Either way, it's going to work because it's going to be a lot of fun. I only played half a game twice, like I said, but I had a lot of fun for the half a games that I did play. And I'm ready for this. So, without further ado, let's do our deployment for our characters, and let's the games begin. That's on before it's about time. Before we start, just want to say I drew my combat cards 5 randomly. So to show what I got a hit, a defense, a hit. This means a reroll, then you can play it at any time, and another reroll at any time. These are random, but these ones are survival cards. Were not random, and I selected these. I read through them, and I specifically picked these. Just to go over them briefly there, block that entry. Discard this card. Talking about this one right here. Discard this card when 2 of your characters are at least 2 inches from a zombie entry point. While in that position, zombies cannot be spawned there. Place this card face up as close to the affected zombie entry point as possible as a reminder. So it's going to be really good. So I could use this during the escalation phase at turn 3 so that I can block one of the larger ones so that 5 of them can't come out. That's why I picked that one. This will be a good stew. Play this card at the end of the game when calculating victory points. Gain 1 additional victory point for every 3 victory points earned. So this here could be a game winner right here, because I'm going to definitely need to win by victory points. We also have additional ammo. Discard this card to remove automatically all reload tokens from all the miniatures of the team during the upkeep phase. So if I don't have any more shoots and I suck at rolling, I can spend this and get rid of all of them, which is great. Run Idiot is the next one. Discard this card to move a character up to 6 inches after player resolves an action. So an action is if I'm going to shoot, then I can just go and run if I'm going to be close, the zombie's going to be close to me or what have you, which is a good idea. And last but not least is the improvised armor. All miniatures in the team are equipped with some sort of improvised armor. When shocked in melee, roll 1 die. On a result of a lightning, which is a slain, ignore the shocked results, which is really good. So I deployed my minis. Now, it does say in the book, if I'm not mistaken, that you can deploy them onto the table edge. Remember, we got the board like that, so in the blue area, and that is where we have to make it into the red area. So I deployed up to 6 inches from the edge here. So you don't have to go the full 6 inches, the same as when you're moving. You don't have to move your total number. But I am moving there for my movement. So we're on to the zombie movement phase. So the zombie card that I showed you, it does say Zombie Hunter, but we're not playing the Zombie Hunter. That's just a show for movement wise. So the zombies can move up to 4 inches. So I just laid this out to show you. And they have to move to the closest mini, whether they're visible or not. So this zombie is going to move their 4 inches, which is right here. So at the beginning of the base to the beginning of the base for the 4 inches. So you can see there's still a little bit of a distance away there. Now, I deployed. I could have moved too as well after I deployed, but I chose not to move any one of these guys because he's too close. If I moved up, and if the zombie's within 2 inches away, it can charge me to attack in melee, and I didn't want that, so that's why I stayed where they are. So I'm going to move all the other zombies on the board, and we're going to continue on. So you can see here, all the other zombies have moved their 4-inch max. Oh, and this guy here. Jeez, I'm getting lost here. So they moved their 4-inch max. So that is the end of the movement phase. So the next is the shooting phase, and obviously the zombies don't shoot. So these guys are going to see if they can take out this hospital walker right there. Onto the shooting phase for our survivors there. So grenade launcher is 6 inches. The automatic, or what the assault rifle, I guess you could say, is 6 inches. Chainsaw is close combat only, and the crossbow is 12 inches. Now I just laid this down. The only one within 6-inch range. Everyone else is past 6 inches, but I'm going to choose to shoot. But still, just to let you know, he could shoot like that. But the problem with the crossbow is hindrance. You cannot. With the crossbow has hindrance, which means you cannot move and shoot in the same turn. So, but I chose for him not to move after deploying, so I can shoot him with the crossbow if I want, or I can just use the double the range and half my die roll for these. But I'm going to just use my crossbow, and I'm going to shoot into the hospital zombie right there, who apparently has an axe in his back already because somebody attacked. So I'm with the shooting for the crossbow into the hospital zombie. So my crossbow guy here, he is the survivalist. So the survivalist is shooting in there with his crossbow, and he gets 2 dice. Now, like I said before, the crossbow has hindrance, which means you can't move and shoot in the same round, but he didn't move, he stayed there, so he can shoot into him, which he's going to do. So let's see what happens here. Let's see what we got. We got a lightning bolt, and we have, so we got a slain, and we have a flesh wound. He rolled, this is just canceled out because it don't mean anything, and I also have the slain shot. Now, this is only after you're going to roll on the damage chart, but to get a successful hit, would have to roll that. So I did not do that, so that doesn't count. But I looked at his character card, and he has a range modifier of +1. So with the range modifier, it is the gun symbol has a +1, so which means you get to roll an extra die. As you can see, the range modifier for the survivalist is a +1, so he does get to roll an extra die. Gonna see if we're gonna actually even hit the zombie, or nothing at all. Oh, another slain. So you know what? The zombie don't have to roll at all, because Darrow just skimmed him. Didn't even touch him. But just as an example, just so everybody's on the same page, if we rolled one of these and the zombie rolled, and the only way the zombie would negate that hit would be by rolling the shield or the chest armor or whatever. That negates it. This is also called a flesh wound. So it wouldn't do nothing to him. But if we didn't roll that just like that, then you would take the number of dice that did go through. So I rolled 3 dice and I didn't get anything to go through, but just hypothetically I got 1 to go through, just as an example. So just say I rolled in 3 dice. So then I would roll this and compare the chart. So I would roll it, and that would mean that the miniature would be slain, so which means this miniature is prone, so it would be laid down. But that did not happen. If by chance I rolled this, nothing would have happened. But if I rolled the slain, it would be a headshot. Bleh, and the zombie be out of the game completely. He'd be dead. But that did not happen. Since he's shot, he does get a reload token. Now, just to mention too as well, the crossbow has a thing which is called clips and bullet. What that means is during the upkeep phase, for rolling to try to reload the crossbow, you roll a die per one you have. So when you roll it, this don't count right now, but I'm just showing you. When you roll it, this here, he wouldn't be able to roll. He wouldn't be able to reload. If we roll this, he'd be a reload. But where it's clips and bullets, even if you rolled a lightning or a sling, he's able to reload. Any other gun there or weapon that don't have clips and bullets, and you roll that, you're going to reload. Not this, unless if it has clips and bullets, then that counts as a reload too as well. Just so everybody is aware of that. Since he don't have a weapon that he can shoot, only has his chainsaw, we're going to go on to the last family member. Now, the last family member has an AK-47, which is an assault rifle. And with the assault rifle, it has a range of 6, but you can tell these guys are past 6 inches. But we're going to do the long range where it can go to 12 inches, which definitely is in the 12-inch range. So with the assault rifle, for the amount of dice that you would use would be 12 dice, but because we're doubling it, we have to reduce that. So instead of 12, we are going to use 6. Now, with the assault rifle, you have a choice of full automatic or single shot. If you choose single shot, then it's going to be just a 1 reload. If you choose full automatic, it's going to be a double. Again, this is like my 3rd time playing, so the rules are going to be wrong, and I just caught myself in a rule mistake. So with the assault rifle, it is short ranged. So what short range mean? What it means, it says in the book, is that for any weapon that is short range, you can't double its distance for firing. So because this zombie is more than 6-inch range away from the assault rifle, and it is short range, it cannot shoot. Darn it. So he shot, he sucked. Can't shoot chainsaw, can't shoot out of range. Now we're going to try for the grenade launcher for the cop and see, I'm going to check to see about that one, if it can actually kill this freaking zombie. So the good old cop here with this grenade launcher, it is not short range, so he can double the distance but split the dice in 2. So with the grenade launcher, he has a range of 6. It's past 6, but it's less than 12, so he's going to do that. And if he kept his regular range, he uses 4 dice, but because he is doubling that, he only can roll 2 dice. Now, the grenade launcher also has blast and piercing. Now, the blast is pretty interesting. So, what the blast means is that any miniature, friend or foe, that is beside the miniature, within 1 inch away from the miniature that you're shooting, they too will also get stuck into the blast radius too as well, and you would have to roll to see what damage it takes. Piercing, what that means is that when I roll, if I get any slain icon on the die, which is the lightning bolt, it counts as 2 hits against the miniature, which is really cool. So let's see what's going to happen when he shoots his grenade launcher into that zombie, which is very annoying, even on this first turn. Okay, I got my 2 dice here for the grenade launcher. Let's see if the cop can destroy this this freaking zombie. 2 hits. Nice. So, because it is a ranged attack, zombies only get 1 die of defense, so let's see if he can block 1. And he does. He blocks 1. So, he gets 1 hit through. So, if I roll the lightning bolt, this zombie is bye-bye. When I say lightning bolt, I mean slain. If I roll a shocked, that just means that he is prone, so he lays down. So let's see what happens when I get... Oh, of course, I rolled a protection thing. So that zombie got nothing done to him. Like, man, you guys got to learn how to shoot better. This is pathetic. And the cop gets a reload token. Next, we'll move on to the melee phase, or melee, whatever you want to call it. I call it melee. So, according to the books and everything for the melee, for any melee to take place, you have to have the miniature within 2 inches of another model. Now, if we were playing with the hunter rule for the zombies, the 2 inches turns to 4 inches. But as you can tell, even with the 4 inches, the zombies not even close to any of them, and also these guys can't do any melee to them too as well. So the melee sub-phase is just not happening this round. So the next thing we're going to is going to be the upkeep phase. During the upkeep phase, what we do is stand all prone miniatures up, but you can tell they're all standing, they're all healthy, nothing happened there. So then we're going to go on to trying to remove the ammo tokens to see if we're going to be able to reload. So let's start with him first. He has to roll one of these, but he also has clips and bullets onto this. What clips and bullets means is if I roll a lightning bolt, I can still remove it, or even this, it's good, that's standard for removing a reload. But if I always want to, I can spend the grit token and I can remove the token. And also remember, I have that special card, the additional ammo, which I can take all ammo or reload tokens off. But I'm not going to use that right now because we still got to make it all the way over there. So anyhow, let's see if we get for the survivalist, if he gets to reload. And he does. That don't count because that wasn't there. So he gets his removed. Goodbye, thank you very much. Now, for the grenade launcher, the cop, he also has clips and bullets. So let's see if he can reload. He gets it. Look at that. This is awesome. At least they're good at one thing, reloading their weapons. The last thing to do for the end of the turn is the respawn, or the spawning of other zombies. And what it says, every scenario is different than how you're going to spawn the zombies, but in this one, at the end of the turn, you're going to respawn one more zombie in every one of the spawn points. Now, again, just remember, after, the upkeep phase of turn 3, there are certain specific ones for the escalation that you're going to have 5 for each one. So that's going to be hell. But right now, we're just going to spawn the other zombies and move back onto the movement. Check, check. Now, one thing that I did make a mistake about, again, there's going to be lots of mistakes, but the good thing is I'm catching all of these mistakes that I'm making. So before we talk about that mistake, as you can tell, I spawned more zombies into their spawn points too as well. Just so everybody knows what I'm doing here. So for the initiative phase, usually when it's against 2 players, and the zombies will move after that. So I was thinking that I was just going to roll the dice for the zombies in the initiative phase too as well, to see if they're going to move too as well. Now, I don't know if that's correct or not. Again, I'm not sure if it's a rules mistake because you're playing the solo mission, or do you just still roll and count the zombies as player number 2? But if you're playing a 2-player game, then the zombies are your mechanic that moves last after their movement. So I'm making an executive decision here. If it is wrong, viewers, please let me know. But I am not going to roll for the initiative phase. I was going to, just 2 minutes ago, or 30 seconds ago on camera, I said yes. It's a rules mistake, I'm going to do it. But I don't know if it's right or wrong, so we're not going to do it. It's just my character is going to move first and then the zombies. Now, in the rule book, what it does say about to find out who goes first for the initiative phase, or gets to choose who goes first, is each player rolls 5 dice. And you count up whoever has the most shocks, or the hits right here, the shock part, goes first, or chooses who goes first. That's how you would do it into a 2-player game, but we're not doing the 2-player game, we're just doing the solo mission, so I'm going first. So on to the heroes movement phase for round 2. And I got a nice little round tracker here. Now this is made from TNT Laser Works. So again, if you guys want one of these custom trackers, you can go to their website. Really cool. So we're on round 1, now we're on round 2. We slid it over. So on to the movement for the survivors. At the end of the movement phase for the survivors, the survivalist actually chose to stay where he is. Actually, I'm going to change that. The survivor, no, he has to stay, because if he moves, he's not going to be able to shoot this round. So if these guys can't do their job, then he won't be able to either. So he's staying where he is. And the, I keep forgetting his name, the last family member, he's chose to stay too as well. So these two are staying back as an anchor. But Chainsaw Mac, old boy, he moved up a 6 inches. Now, the rule of moving your miniature is you can't be base-to-base contact. You have to be at least 1 inch away from the base of the other miniature. So, and also the cop here, he moved to 6 inches too as well, and he's staying there. So when he makes a blast shot, if he's going to shoot a blast shot after these guys move, what's going to happen is that he don't want any of his good guys, his buddies, to be in the way that, you know, they can take damage to as well. So now we're going to move on to the zombie movement for turn 2. All the zombies have moved too as well, so he wasn't moving any because he's already within the 1 inch. This guy moved, and it wasn't quite 4 inches, it was a little less, so we got to keep that 1 inch margin. Moved, 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 and moved. Now, one thing I'd like to note too as well is if one of the miniatures, the good miniatures, encounter a barrier or a blockade of some sort, there's some special rules that are in the book. I'm not going to really specifically go over them unless we encounter them. Hopefully we'll encounter them. If not, if I remember, I will certainly try to explain it. But with zombies, they kind of, they can't do what the survivors can do for when they encounter any kind of blockade. They have to move around them. So, other than that, that's the movement phase for the zombies as well as the heroes. Now we're on to the shooting phase. Now for the shooting phase, you have to, there's rules for line of sight and everything. What I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to do is after we play this game, because if I go over all the line of sight rules and everything now, it's going to make this video even longer. I want to keep up with the gameplay. But what I'm going to do is after the video is all done, at the end of it, if I remember, I'm really going to try to remember this, but I'm going to do like final thoughts. I'm going to sit down and talk to everybody about what I thought of the game after the full playthrough and go over all of the special rules if I don't touch upon them during the game. Anyhow, so right now, it's the line of sight thing. So he's in melee range, but he can still shoot if he wanted to, no big deal. But that wouldn't be a wise idea because it's within 1 inch and he can blow up. So he, however, the survivalist, I'm going to measure to see if he's within 6 inches so that he can shoot. He's short range, he can't shoot anything, but the survivalist might be able to. And just so that we can check the line of sight here, I got my laser pointer out so you can see there's nothing obstructing the line of sight for this. So if it was touching the base at all, I'm assuming it would probably be in the way and he wouldn't want to shoot. But no line of sight blocking, so he can shoot. And remember, with the crossbow does hinder or hindrance, but he didn't move. He planned on this, so the zombie's going to move close. So he's going to shoot. If he don't, then Chainsaw Mac is going to try to take a whack at him in the melee combat phase. So anyhow, onto the shooting phase. Okay, so let's see if the survivalist is going to hit that, hopefully hit that zombie and either drop him down or do something to him at least instead of missing him. So 2 dice. And it's a hit, at least 1 hit so far. Defense of the zombie in shooting, not melee, is 1 die. Let's see. Oh, so zombie didn't do it. So the arrow actually did go through and hit the sucker. So now we're gonna roll on the damage chart and see what happens. Oh, I want I don't want shock. Shocked is good, but I want the lightning bolt, which is slain. Let's go. Oh, it's shocked. So because that hospital zombie is down, or got one hit, he is prone. Prone means he's knocked down. And the survivalist gets a reload token. So we do have one miniature, the zombie. He is shocked. He's down. Now, he's not locked in combat. He moved. He's still 1 inch away, so we can still shoot. But it wouldn't make any sense to shoot here because within 1 inch radius, it's a blast. But if you look here at this guy, now, I forgot to mention too as well as in Project Z, you can pre-measure everything. You are allowed to actually do that, which is great. So anyhow, I measure it just to show you it's base to base. He's within 6 inch range, so he's more than adequate enough to shoot with his grenade launcher. And so he gets 4 dice. So he's going to shoot and hopefully kill this other hospital zombie. Like, I guess a lot of the zombies escaped from the hospital. So he's going to shoot his grenade launcher. Bam! The cop into this zombie and see if we can blow him to kingdom come. Shoot him up. Kill him. Destroy him. Dismember him. Do everything so he can't come at us. I had to pull out my dice box just to keep things a little bit more controlled so it don't roll everywhere. Because I get excited when I roll the dice because I love rolling the dice. I love the sound. Anyhow, the cop is going to shoot into that hospital gown wearing zombie full of blood thing. And he get 4 dice because he's in range. You don't have to half it. Let's see what he gets. Oh, what a bad roll. 1 stinking hit. Like, can you believe that? Like, he's got a freaking grenade launcher and he's still missing. So the zombie gets 1 dice to roll for his defense. Let's see what happens. And of course, he rolls his defense. So, by any chance, because of the piercing, if I did roll that, it counts as 2 hits, but I didn't. Only rolled one shock, so he's fine. But you know what happens since you were shooting really bad? You get a reload token on you, just like that. So he's not in range to shoot anything, the last family member, but he has a skill which is called run. So during the shooting sub-phase, if he chooses not to shoot, he can't shoot anyhow. So he can run an extra 4 inches. So that is what he's going to do. He's going to move an extra 4 inches. And that brings him to there. He's just getting in position so that he can start backing up and making their way. Again, we're on turn 2, and we're not even close to halfway on the board. So remember on turn 3, what happens is all hell breaks loose and 5 zombies are going to start coming out. This is going to be really scary. And again, this game is taking, I find, a long time, not time-wise, but it's taking a long time to actually get over there. We're going to have to start running and not shooting at these zombies to see if we can get it over there. Because, you know, we're not playing this very smart. I just want to kill zombies, though. But anyhow, up to turn 6, and then the game is over. We're on the melee phase. Now, every time during the melee phase, when a miniature engages, they get a +1 dice to roll on top of what they already roll. So I just checked Chainsaw Mac. He's got a heck of a lot of dice to roll. Because according to the chart here, with the chainsaw, he has 10 dice. So, and he also has, which is called the ram. So what RAM does, according to what the book says, is instead of getting 1 extra dice for engaging the miniature, you get 2. So he's going to have a total of 12 dice. So because of this is version 2 of the rules, and this zombie is prone, he's just shocked. He's laying down. You can still attack a prone zombie. So what Mac is going to do is he's going to go base to base. And he's going to roll his dice. So any hit that he gets, it's going to just automatically kill that zombie. That zombie's out. The zombie can't defend, really. Or actually, no, the zombie can roll his defense dice still. But any hit that goes through will just automatically counts as a slain, and it'll kill a prone zombie. Or a prone character. Don't matter if it's a zombie or not. So Mac is going to roll his 12 dice and see, and then the zombie's going to roll his defense and see what happens. You know, we already know what's going to happen here, but let's just humor. So, you don't get this many dice in the core set of Project Z. I bought extra die. So, extra dice. So, again, there's 12 dice. So, he gets 10 for his chainsaw. He gets +1 for engaging. But because he has RAM, he gets an extra dice. So, that's 12 in total. So, we're going to roll all of these and see what it comes up. So, a lot of dice to roll for a chainsaw. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we got 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4 hit, 5 hit, 6 hits. So that's 6 hits. So the zombie's defense is 1 dice. Now obviously you're going to get a hit that goes through. So this is kind of just silly to roll. But just so I'm just showing so that you, the viewers, and myself too as well, understand this even more and wrap our brain around it. So the zombie rolled a shock, so nothing happens. Even if he rolled his defense, there's no way he's going to block all of them. So this prone zombie is, Mac just goes up and just chainsaws its head off, and that zombie is zombie meat. Just chunks and chunks and chunks of gore. Thanks to Chainsaw Mac. With the chainsaw, it's the only melee that does have a reload token, so instead of 1, what reload says in the book is it's an extra token. So Mac has a reload of 2. So now we're going to go on, we're still in the melee phase for the survivors. We're going to go to the cop here and see if the cop can take this zombie out with his melee. Now, you notice he has a grenade launcher and nothing else. So, and you can't use a grenade launcher in close combat, but what you do when a miniature, it's kind of like WYSIWYG for the miniatures, what you see on them is what you get, but it's an improvised melee weapon, that's what it says into the rulebook. So we're just going to say he has a knife or something, or even just his fist to try to take the zombie down. If you look at the chart here, it says for melee weapons, improvised defense, C is close combat, you only use it in, and the attack value is 1. I'm just going to roll both of them at the same time. So the zombie's the white, and it has the defense of 1, and the improvise has the melee attack of 1. So let's see what happens here. We got a slain, which counts as nothing, and we got a hit. So he hit him with his fist. He just smacked that zombie in the face. One thing I forgot to do here is move base-to-base combat. So he was 1 inch away, but he engaged. Oh, that's right. So he's engaging. I forgot one thing. See, I'm starting to catch up on these things. Engaging, you get 1 extra die. So let's see what happens. Roll that because it popped out. 2 hits. Nice. And the zombie rolled slain. So he don't get any defense. So now we take them 2 die and we roll to see what we're gonna do to that zombie. Maybe he's just prone. Maybe I'm gonna roll a slain and kill that zombie too. Oh, he's just shocked. So that zombie, boom, boom, punches in the face and knocks him down. He's done. He's just knocked out. We're on to the melee phase for the zombies, but as you can tell by looking on the board, no zombie is within 1 inch or 2 inches from, except for the prone one, but he can't stand up, he's knocked down. So that is done for the melee phase of the zombies. So now we move on to the upkeep phase. And during the upkeep phase, the first thing we do is we stand up all prone miniatures. So that zombie stands back up again. Oh, you punched me, but I got back up again, copper. Ha 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 ha. I said that wrong. The zombie wouldn't talk like the zombie would be. But you know, that's what he said. Part of the upkeep phase again is we got to see if we remove these reload tokens. So this guy, and he has clips and bullets, so even the lightning or the slain will work. He got it removed. Good job, survivalist. Okay, let's go on to Mac. He gets 2 dice. to try to move. You don't got clips or bullets though, so you have to get 2 of the shields. You don't. You only got 1. So poor Mac is still, he's running low on gas. He can't restart the chainsaw. Now we're on to the cop. He got clips and bullets. So let's see. He's got 1, and he don't. So he is still in trouble. And look who is on his tail. Well, this is bad. So the cop may take a hit here. Last but not least that we have to do at the end of turn 2 is we're going to have to respawn or spawn more zombies. So we have to put 6 more zombies down on the board. Alright, so zombies is respawned, or spawned. So you can tell the board is starting to get more populate with the zombies. We only had 1 kill so far. So what I'm thinking what's going to happen here for the heroes to get closer to the objective, which is the compound, is they're going to have to start running around the zombies. So again, we're on turn 2. Now we're on turn 3. So this is what the problem is for turn 3 now. So for the upkeep phase of turn 3, this is where we're going to flip over them zombie spawn points, and 5 zombies come out on each of them spawn points, which is going to cause a lot more difficulty. So let's go on to turn 3, survivors movement phase. So the movement for the survivors are done. So the survivalists moved to 6 inches right here. Chainsaw Mac moved to 6 inches. And the cop and the last family member moved there too as well. So we're trying to keep away from the zombies within the 4 inches so they can't come into melee, but we're still trying to get over there as quick as possible. I think I might have to use my Run Idiot card after one of the survivors does an action. We will see. So let's move on to the zombie movement phase now. All the zombies have moved to 4 inches. Now you can see that the cop and the last family member, they're pretty close to zombies there. Now he's gonna melee for sure. He's got to reload. He can't shoot anything anyhow. But what the problem here is, look at poor Mac. He has a reload, and he already has, there's going to be 2 zombies on him automatically because like they're 1 inch away. 2 inches I should say. So this is a problem here for Mac. So when zombies operate in melee, what happens is the first zombie will, if he engages, he gets an extra die. Second zombie gets an extra die on top of the one for engaging, so 2, and then this zombie would get 3 in total. Because it's kind of like in a row, a succession of attacks. That's really bad for Mac there. So I'm gonna have to start using some grit tokens or some combat dice here, which I completely forgot about up until now. And all the other zombies are moving too as well. So the only one that is in big trouble, that looks right now, is Mac. But after the shooting phase, I think I'm probably going to play the Run Idiot card to get all of these guys an extra 6 inches away. And I think that might be the best solution here. We will see though. Onto the shooting phase, I should say, because the zombies move too as well. So I forgot that with the crossbow, he's hindered. So he can't move and shoot on the same turn. So he moves, so he can't shoot. So he can't even back up Mac right now. So Mac is even in more trouble right now. But we have the last family member right here. He is not hindered. He can still shoot and move. So he is going to shoot. Let's see, I'm going to shoot this hospital zombie. The hospital zombies are just killing us. Like, this is horrible. He's got no reload tokens. It's the cop that got it. So he's going to shoot here and see what happens, and hopefully he'll take this guy down. The last family member, his assault weapon, it is short range and it's 6 inches, so definitely under 6 inches. But what's great about this assault rifle, is it has burst. So what that means is any enemy model that is not friendly or enemy, just enemy, that is 1 inch away, which is right here, I measured, you can hit him too as well. So so it's attacking, but we have to kind of decide what we're going to do. So I'm going to throw, because it's 12 dice, so 6 into the hospital zombie, and 6 into this runner zombie and see what if we're going to take these guys down and help out the cop. So first off, let's take out that hospital bloody gown wearing zombie. Come on. And we have 1, 2, 3 hits. Right there, we got 3 hits. The rest are no good. So the hospital gown wearing zombie is gonna roll for defense. Gets 1. So 1 gets taken out. So we got 2 left. So what we're going to do then is we are going to see how much damage. Let's see if we get a slain, because that would be great for the help the cop out. Oh, look at that! We got a slain and we got a shock, but guess what? He's not prone, he's dead. He's out of the equation. Good job so far, last family member. For the next one, into the runner zombie right there, 6. Let's see if we can do the same here. So we got 1, 2, 3 hits, just like before. Nothing wrong with that. So something is definitely going to go through here. So the zombie here has defense dice of 1 and nothing. So 3 hits go through. So let's see if we're going to kill this zombie too as well, or is the zombie just going to go prone? Or if we roll all 3 to shield, like that's ridiculous. Okay, come on, let's go. Give me. Oh, look at this. 2 of them. But look at that. That is another slain. So, dead. You just saved a cop's life, last family member. What a lucky person that cop is right now. He can go clean his underwear out. And the last family member gets a reload token. That was close because the cop was going to get it. But hey, the last family member got his back. Great job. That is the end of the shooting for the survivors. But poor Mac is going to get it. But no, he's not, because I specifically picked a card. A survivor card, not a combat card, a survivor card. And this here is the Run Idiot card. Discard this card to move a character up to 6 inches after any player resolves an action. So therefore, he resolved an action. This card is out of play, it's discarded. But good old Mac here is going to be able to run 6 inches. So Mac's not going to run that way. Shouldn't run backwards. He should be going this way. So we're going to try to run Mac. Now, zombie spawn point here, so he's going to try to want to stay away from that as good as possible. But then again, the next movement, Mac can move more too as well. So I'm going to move Mac 6 inches this way. Now, we are on to the melee phase. So with the melee phase, luckily the heroes can go first, and so on and so forth. So if he's going to melee, the problem is you know, he can move up, and then this zombie can move up to attack him, and if you don't kill him, then he's got to deal with an extra zombie too as well. So that's going to be some problem there. But for melee, for these guys, they're not in range, and Mac is not in range for any melee, so it is only the survivalist that I have to look after here. One thing I did notice with the survivalist, one of his special traits is relentless. So I just looked up what relentless is, and what that is he ignores any weapons hindering effect. So he could have shot and moved in the same turn. But he chose not to. That was a long pause. Wow. So anyhow, but he also has the run ability too as well. So now we have to look at, and run, he can move 4 inches instead of shooting. So let's think this out for a minute. So if he stays where he is and he shoots, and he shoots him. So again, you can pre-measure everything here. So this guy is within 2 inches, so he's going to be able to attack if he misses. This guy, is not within 2 inches, so he will not be able to attack. So if the survivalist decides to run, he can run 4 inches, and he'd be kind of have to run that way so that he's away from any of the zombies. What am I gonna do here? Should I just try to kill another one, or should I just try to get the heck out of here? Alright, so after doing some pre-measuring off camera and so forth, what I'm going to decide to do with the survivalist is he's going to just, instead of shooting and kind of just sticking out there, he's going to run. So he is going to run an extra 4 inches, which brings him here. And if you measure, it is outside the 2-inch range for the zombies for melee, so they're lucky. So no melee, and since we're talking about melee, we are on the melee phase. None of the survivors are in melee range. Now, is any of the zombies... Oh, I just pushed him a little bit, but no. So no melee whatsoever. So then we're going on to the upkeep phase. Now, the one problem with this upkeep phase, we're on turn 3, and now for the upkeep phase, for when the zombies spawn, we're going to have to spawn the 5 zombies. I find that I didn't really think this through too much. I just wanted to start killing zombies right away for this game. I'm thinking I'm not going to make it there at all, but I'm going to have some fun killing some zombies for sure, at least. So anyhow, we're on to the upkeep phase. No miniatures are prone, so we don't have to stand them up. So next thing we gotta do is we gotta roll to see if we remove any of the reload tokens. I do still have this additional ammo card, but because there's gonna be like 5 more zombies on 3 of the zombie spawn points that are coming out, I'm not gonna use this yet because I want to hang on to it for a rainy day when it rains down blood. First, we're going to try to get rid of the reload tokens onto the last known family member, the last family member to die, to roll it. And that's 1. So it removes 1 reload token. So he just flips this over. Next is the cop. Come on, copy. Nope. Cop still has that reload token on. This is bad. Maybe I'm going to have to spend a grit token here. But he had clips and bullets. If he got the slain lightning icon, then he would have been able to, but he didn't. So now, Chainsaw Mac here has got to roll 2 as well. Let's see what happens. Come on, Mackie. Oh yeah, at least Mac got rid of his. So he's fine. Mac is fine. He found some gas. He put it in. He's ready to mow down some more zombies. Chainsaw them down. Oh yeah. I decided I'm going to spend grit tokens. It's 1 per reload token, spending 2 to get rid of these so that they can have their bullets back so that they can start shooting too as well. Hey BoardGameManiacs, killing them zombies is taking a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying the battle report so far the way that I'm enjoying it. Now, the video is taking a lot longer. It usually takes 30 to 60 minutes for gameplay, but because I'm learning the rules as we go along, it's taking a little longer to play through. So I broke this video up into 2 parts. Right now we're probably at like 1 hour and 20 minutes into you watching the video. So I'm going to stop it there and I'm going to start a new section of video. It's going to be part 2. So if you're interested in watching the second part of this video and the final part of the video for the outcome to see how it's played through and what happens to our survivors, then just click on the link below and it'll bring you to the second part to this video. And again, if you like these videos, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions or even if you have any comments, if you notice that I made some rules mistakes, which I probably have, just comment down below and let me know what rules mistakes I made wrong, and I'll also put a page number to the rule book so I can refer back to it. So until next time, just be a maniac, enjoy killing some zombies, and have some fun.